Hi, it's the first week of November, and Blockheads Paper Arts would like to show you how to make Christmas tags using sticky embossing powder and glitter. The supplies you'll need include Ranger sticky embossing powder, a snowflake cutout of any cardstock, or you can even use basil paper flower snowflakes, those would be cool. We also have our Winter Wonderland stamps from our Winter Wonderland stamp set. We're using Stickles Dry Fine Glitter, and this is the platinum color. And we're also using regular Stickles Silver. We're using Versamark Dazzle Champagne. We're using the number 5 black tags, the Brilliant Sky Blue Dewdrop, and the anti-static bag, which we carry, and that is from Gary Berlin. We also are using just any heat tool that you have. We are using the Marvy heat tool. Our first step is we're going to use the static bag, anti-static bag, and we're going to sweep it across the black tag. This is so that when you are using the embossing powder on the areas where you haven't set the powder down, it won't accidentally get pieces of that onto the other area. Next, we're going to take the Versamark Dazzle Champagne pad. We're going to put that over the stamp. Then we're going to stamp on the edge of the tag. And that's the snowflake stamp from the Winter Wonderland set. For this next step, you want to make sure that you have some sort of paper underneath your surface so that you don't get all of the powder everywhere. We're going to sprinkle the sticky embossing powder over the image that we stamped with the Versamark. And you don't have to be clean about this. You can just be totally messy because you're going to tap that off. And then you're going to take your excess and put it back into your jar. In our case, we're just using a bag. And definitely, since we're using glitter in this particular demo, you want to make sure you have some good newspaper down or something to catch all of this mess that we're going to make. It's a fabulous mess. One thing to note is if you accidentally smudge your image at any point before you heat set it, you can just reapply the sticky embossing powder. Next, we're going to heat set the tag. This is to cure the embossing powder, making it ready for applying your glitter. And it just takes a few seconds. You can see it already changing. It becomes clear and slightly bubbly when it's ready. There you go. Next, you're going to take your Stickles Dry Fine Glitter. Again, we're using the platinum. And you're going to sprinkle that over the cured stamped image. And again, you don't have to be perfect with that. You can make as big a mess as you need to. Tap off the excess. And that's what the tag looks like. Very pretty. If you notice that you've got some excess glitter on the outside of the stamped image, don't worry about it because we're going to heat set this again and you'll still have the opportunity to brush off the excess. Go ahead and heat set that. We put down a little bit of aluminum foil covered cardboard over our counter surface just so that it doesn't make any heat damage to our surface. There you go, you heat that up again. And now you can sort of brush off any of the excess glitter that you happen to have on the outside of your image. And there it is. For our next step, we're going to use the Brilliant Pearlescent Sky Blue Dewdrop, and we're going to stamp the word "Let It Snow" on the top of the tag. It's kind of a pretty wintry blue color, perfect for this sort of project. And I'll just zoom in there a little bit so you can see what that looks like. Nice complement to the glitter. Now that that is stamped with the words, we're going to actually put some of the silver stickles, just as little accent pieces on the words. Really ties in the whole effect of the glitter that way. And the regular stickles just come with a pointy applicator, so it makes it easy to apply. Just a bit out on the outside of the edge there. and you make your finishing touches. You might want to practice a little bit with the stickle applicator because it can come out pretty fast sometimes if you're not familiar with using that. And there you have your accent piece. For this next step, we're going to take the paper snowflakes, and you're going to want to put your adhesive on first before you apply the stickles, because the stickles will remain wet until you either heat set them or let them dry. So we're using the Pioneer glue stick just to adhere this to the tag. And the paper snowflakes add a nice little different sort of look to the tag, so it's not all the same. Pop that down on the tag. And that's how that looks. Almost there. Before we apply the stickles, we're going to use a white gel opaque roller pen. And this particular one we're using is the Jelly Roll. You can use anything, any white opaque pen that you have. There's also Ink Essentials. Some people like the Signo UM153. That's a nice one. Whatever you happen to have for a white opaque pen would work. And we're going to just draw on the inside of the snowflakes. Just make little accent pieces. So we just basically went on the inside of the snowflakes and created a nice inner pattern, and then we're going to apply the stickles in little dots on some of the edges of those lines. Again, you might want to practice a little bit with the stickles because they can be a bit glooby. I don't know if that's a real word, but it seems appropriate. Just dot here and there. And remember, this is going to be wet, so try not to get your hands swept across your tag because it'll just smear. Stickles are fabulous, but they do take a little while to dry. There you go. Beautiful. And for the final step, we just took a piece of ribbon and tied it through the hole of the tag. You can use any ribbon that you think complements your tag nicely. And there you have the Let It Snow Winter Wonderland tag. Thank you for joining us. I thought we would mention that if you didn't happen to have any of the dry fine glitter and you still wanted to use the sticky embossing powder, you can use any glitter that you happen to have. We just used some black glitter for the other tag example.